What is up, boys? What is up? I think we should be live by now. कैसे कर रहे हो यार तुम सब? What is happening? Excited होके नहीं? बाकू में यार आ चुके हैं हम वापस. Baku is one of the greatest circuits in Formula One ever introduced यार. Ever introduced. क्या सर्किट है मेरे भाई. तुम देखो ये सर्किट भाई. तुम हाई स्पीड कॉर्नर्स मेरे भाई. हाई स्पीड कॉर्नर्स. कॉर्नर्स तो नहीं बट स्ट्रेट्स रादर. स्पीड स्पीड इधर क्रेजी होती है भाई. फन फैक्ट है अबाउट बाकू. 72% of the time when you're on this track you actually go on and drive on full throttle. इतने लॉन्ग स्ट्रेट्स हैं, इतने क्रेजी गुड स्ट्रेट्स हैं कि भाई तुम्हें ब्रेक करने की चांस ही नहीं मिलता है. यू हैव नो चांस ऑफ ब्रेकिंग एट ऑल. Like there are extremely slow corners paired with extremely high speed straights. 72% of the track you are on the full throttle here. So it is one of the craziest tracks, and of course we've got some of the craziest memes rather in this sort of situation. You will remember, of course, the I am stupid. I am stupid. The Charles Leclerc one, dude. The Charles Leclerc one. That is one of the craziest memes we've got, and bhai, that is the fun of Formula One. You don't see. It is, of course, speed. It is, of course, corners. It is, of course, overtaking and all of that thrill. But all of it adds to the drama. All of it adds to the situations that are in. But let's talk about a little bit what we have seen so far in the practice sessions for this Grand Prix. Starting off, let's open the timings of each and every practice. One of the things that we came into this Grand Prix saying that probably and maybe Charles Leclerc, not Charles Leclerc, actually George Russell wouldn't be able to actually compete because there he had a sore throat, he had some fever, and he had to actually rest a lot. तो practice 1 में, practice 2 में on Friday yesterday चीज़ें थोड़ी सी ऑफ हो गई थी वहाँ पे for Charles Leclerc, sorry George Russell, but still he managed. George Russell managed to get on the fourth. Oscar Piastri, Lando Norris, of course, tanked. I mean, of course, it is McLaren's year, so tank to nahi bol sakte, but they actually surpassed everything. They got the 1-2 in the first practice session. They have got the speed, they have got the drivers to do it, they have got the car to do it. But George Russell thoda sa bimar the during the weekend, but he came along, he came onto the track and he actually performed really well. He finished fourth in that first practice session. Yuki Tsunoda actually finished sixth and Max Verstappen on seventh. But of course, practice one is not much of an idea you can get of what we can expect because people and teams are trying out new things. They're experimenting with the setups and all of the things that will help them to get to the ideal outcome of getting the perfect qualifying session in. But second practice was very, very interesting, boys. The second practice, we had a Ferrari 1-2 and George Russell, Kimi Antonelli finished third and fourth there. The timings of that session were crazy, dude. 141 was Lewis Hamilton, 141.2, and just off 700th of a second short of Charles Leclerc. तो भाई चीज़ें हैं, क्रेजी हैं चीज़ें. मतलब Ferrari historically speaking does well on the circuit of Azerbaijan or Baku. Charles Leclerc specifically, he has got the most poles at Baku. Most poles तो नहीं कह सकते, but in the last 4 years he's been constant in qualifying. Qualifying pace Ferrari के पास है for sure, and we have seen that in the previous editions itself. तो भाई चीज़ें हैं, क्रेजी चीज़ें होती है यहाँ पे. So it is going to be a really crazy session here. तो मज़ा आएगा dude. Very interesting to say the least. It will be very interesting for sure. एक बार मैं देख लेता हूँ, कुछ तो एरर्स आ रहे हैं यहाँ पे हमारे लाइव टाइमिंग के लिए. We will actually adjust that and we will see what is actually happening here. So yeah, we will adjust that into our stream here. लाइव टाइमिंग interact तो नहीं करना है हमें. We will actually go to the properties and we will actually update that here. Main, of course, we need to adjust that again because by crazy tracks, crazy stories, crazy qualifying session ahead of us. तो बहुत मज़ा आने वाला है boys, बहुत ही मज़ा आने वाला है. You will be very excited for this and by qualifying are generally very very nice to be honest. बहुत ही मज़ा आता है qualifying देखने में. It is absolutely killer, you know. So yeah, that's that. That's basically that, bro. That's basically that. अगर भाई तुम आ रहे हो, I'm keeping a poll in the chats. Who is getting a poll today? Charles Leclerc, Lando Norris, or Oscar Piastri? Or is it going to be Max Verstappen or any other driver? तो भाई पोल स्टार्ट हो चुका है बॉयज. पोल इज स्टार्टेड इन द चैट गाइज. थोड़ा मेरे को एडजस्ट करने दो, ये कुछ तो एरर्स यहाँ पे आ रहे हैं यहाँ पे फॉर द क्वालिफाइंग सेशन हियर इन द स्ट्रीम. कुछ तो दिक्कत है यहाँ पे. There is some problem with the tracking here, so we will wait. कि भाई हो क्या रहा है exactly. But till that, we will actually see कि भाई what is going to happen in this qualifying session for us. What does this qualifying session have in stores for us? तो मज़ा आने वाला है boys. Be excited about this qualifying session because it is going to be very crucial in terms of आगे क्या होगा सीजन में. It will be very very crucial for sure dude, for sure. Absolutely fun. थोड़े से भाई एडजस्टमेंट्स हमें ज़रूरी है भाई करने के लिए बिकॉज स्ट्रीम कर रहे हैं तो some of the things need to work as perfectly as they can. मज़ा आएगा भाई, मज़ा आएगा. This Grand Prix has everything boys. This Grand Prix has everything. Anytime we could be live. अभी 10 मिनट है हमारे पास. We have 10 minutes to go to the session. थोड़ी सी बात करते हैं. What is this circuit about? So this circuit actually consists of a lot of high speed straights. 72% of the street you go through full throttle. Full throttle is mean you press the accelerator as hard as you can in 72% of the circuit. But it is paired with the trickiness of high speed or low speed corners जो कि all around the track है. And the most famous one is the castle section जो कि है, you remember it by the I am stupid that thing. But having said that, yeah, this is a crazy track, one of the greatest ever in Formula 1 because teams can generally pull off a one stopper strategy here. The tire wear is not that much in this track. So it is possible that people will try to, pull off a one stopper here because, well, that is the ideal scenario. That is the ideal scenario here. So, but because this is a very narrow track, this is a very, very narrow track, we actually need to track back and we need to actually go ahead and, take into account that there are a lot of safety cars and there are a lot of yellow flags that can happen during the race. So you actually need to take in account and take your chance with that thing because one stopper में एक medium and hard की strategy में you can take it to the full race, but because there are a lot of safety cars, yellow flags, accidents all around happening, so you need to actually take into account that you will have certain safety cars. And I don't think we have had a race in Baku without a safety car, whether it is the Lewis Hamilton going off the track, whether it is a crash between Carlos Sainz and Checo Perez. Checo Perez का यार favorite track हुआ करता था boys. This is a favorite track of Checo Perez. तो it is interesting, dude. It is interesting, absolutely, because Checo Perez is not competing. He will be back in the next season with Cadillac, so it is going to be very interesting, boys. You cannot miss this race and the next season too, because oh well, we will have some fun, boys. We will have some fun here. So this track is absolutely killer, boys. This track is absolutely killer. One of the greatest street circuits in the uh, Formula One calendar. So yeah, that's pretty much that. What are your thoughts, yeah? Who is taking the poll today? Give me your predictions on what's gonna happen here. तो भाई क्वालिफाइंग हम स्टार्ट करेंगे एनी मोमेंट वी विल बी ऑन फॉर क्वालिफाइंग सेशन विद द ड्राइवर्स आई फील लाइक कमिंग इनटू पोल इज आज थोड़ा सा ट्रिकी रहेगा बिकॉज मक्लैरन का फेवरेट ट्रैक नहीं है इवन हिस्टोरिकली एंड इवन विद द सेटअप दे हैव इन दिस कार ऑफ कोर्स यू कैन नॉट undermine McLaren, because it's of course McLaren this season. It is the season of McLaren this season, but it is about other cars as well, other teams as well. They have a great chance here to actually go ahead and take some points and take positions up in the grid, because Ferrari and Charles Leclerc have a great track record in this track in Baku, and Lewis Hamilton ne bhi bhai, for the most part of the practice sessions he has performed well in this setup with the car. So yeah, that's that, boys. That's that. What do you think? And Max Verstappen, of course, coming off from Monza with a lot of confidence into this race. So I think he will be there to compete. But things will be interesting to see because Williams has got a lot of straight line speed. We have seen in the past, we have seen in the history that in this season so far, Williams are actually pretty good in the long straights. So, considering long straights, Baku is one of the craziest full throttle tracks, जहाँ पे 72% of the track you actually go on and drive on full throttle. That means you accelerate that much कि भाई 72% of the track you are just accelerating. वैसा वाला सीन होता है ये ट्रैक में जनरली स्पीकिंग. सो दैट इज प्रिटी क्रेजी. क्या थॉट्स है भाई, क्या थॉट्स है विलियम्स का भाई? आई एम एक्सपेक्टिंग कार्लोस साइंस एंड एलेक्स एल्बॉन बोथ टू फिनिश इन पॉइंट्स in the main race itself, and I think we should see a Williams car in the top 5 in this qualifying session as well. That is my predictions, dude. That is my predictions because है pace है, Williams has pace and they are improving constantly. So it will be interesting to see, very much so, very much so. Yep, we are going and we are starting off with the qualifying session now. Almost halfway across the season. थोड़े बहुत races बाकी हैं. We'll go through a run till December. But right now it is 17th race of the season. It is in Baku. It is the street circuit of Baku with very narrow streets but long straights as well. 6 kilometers long, 51 lap का distance है. 2 DRS zones that come right when you start the game or start the lap. And it has a lot of corners, lot of small narrow corners, and castle section mainly it is the narrowest in the Formula 1 calendar, narrowest ever street or narrowest ever angle in the whole Formula 1 calendar, even smaller than Monaco. वो जो castle section है where Charles Leclerc actually did and crashed during his flying lap on winning the pole, but he actually crashed off and he was stupid. He was stupid. Absolutely stupid. So that is the scene, boys, here. That is the scene in this qualifying session. We will be live any moment. So yeah, absolutely. It will be very interesting to see कि कैसे scene रहता है यहाँ पे. So basically we are going off. We will be starting off with the Grand Prix qualifying, Baku, great circuit, great corners, great straights. भाई यहाँ पे एक लड़की भाई रेनकोट पहन के खड़ी है. Is there any chances of rain here today? Is there a possibility? Chat, let me know if the weather is all right in Baku. It will be interesting यार. Absolutely interesting हो जाएगा because अगर बारिश आती है तो भाई it is obviously gonna add to the thrills and spills of the well qualifying race में भाई हमेशा it is always fun to watch when you are actually into a wet qualifying or a wet race or such, you know. Absolutely. So boys, chat में यार, chat, tell me if are there any chances of rain today. Are there any chances of a rain coming today in Baku? क्या लगा है? What do you guys think? Windy है just. रेशिता कह रही है कि भाई just windy today. Let's see, let's see. Cars are all lined up. We will be off any time now. We will be off any time. Williams are running. Alpine is there. Haas and Red Bull Racing. Red Bull Racing नहीं आएंगे. It is Racing Bulls actually on the track, ready to go at the moment. Boys, मेरे को लग रहा है भाई Charles Leclerc will pull off something today as well because it is one of his favorite tracks. Let's be honest, boys. Let's be honest. It is one of his favorite tracks in the whole circuit. So, in the whole calendar, should I say? Leo Leclerc. किसी बंदी ने भाई अपने कुत्ते का नाम रखा है Leo Leclerc. Crazy. Max Verstappen के भाई टायर्स अभी तक नहीं लगे हैं. He will go out a little late. Not exactly right now. टायर्स अभी लग रहे हैं Leclerc के and Verstappen के. George Russell भाई, he was actually sick. He was actually sick during the week. He had a sore throat. He had the fever. He was not actually on point on the first day in Friday. But today, in the third practice session, he actually came out and he actually contributed into the system and the setup of the car. He was actually contributing into the setup जो कार के लिए रहता है. He actually gave a few inputs to the Mercedes team and yeah, that will be interesting to see because कुछ तो setup changes किए हैं for now Mercedes ने. So देखते हैं, can they produce something to actually, you know, go on and fight McLaren for the pole today. That is the thing. That is the thing to be seen today. Leclerc is also out, boys. Leclerc is also out today on the pitch. Piastri is still in. It is a lot of wind, 26 kilometers an hour and a cross on the straight. So गाड़ी ऐसे आएगी तुम्हारी and the wind is coming in this direction. On the long straight, on the main straight. It can help in DRS as well. Sometimes it will be interesting to see. But that's pretty much it, boys. That's pretty much it. And I have started the qualifying session. Everyone is on the out lap right now. Everyone is on the out lap. लैपटॉप भाई क्रेजी हीट हो रहा है मेरा. लैपटॉप क्रेजी हीट हो रहा है मेरा आज. On the out lap है. Everyone is on the out lap. Albon has started his flying lap here. Here goes Albon starting his flying lap. Going slow into the first corner. एक long straight के बाद slow corner आता है. You go on full throttle. You brake again into the second corner. There is a DRS zone. You open up your flaps. You go on DRS straight up. Go till the end of the long straight again. You brake in for a slow corner there. And there is another corner right after that. You don't need to actually pull off the throttle. Now you pull on the throttle again on the turn 4, and that is a fast corner coming in, not exactly a slow one. That is a chicane coming in. Alex Albon. Now we are coming into the castle section, the narrowest section of the track. Look at how small and how narrow the streets are. The legendary I am stupid corner there. Alex Albon pulls off really. I mean, he's not in control at the moment. He's trying to get the car stable at the high speeds in the low, narrow streets. And he's off. He gets into the final part of the track, the final slow corner here, and he goes a little wide, but not an issue. And now he will actually go off and pull open the DRS flaps on his car, and he will go on and finish the lap with a timing of 140. Oh, it is very slow lap. It is in the 143 ends, 143 700th of a second. That is a very slow lap indeed from Alex Albon. That is a very slow lap from Alex Albon there. Bortoleto Berman takes the provisional pole. That is 143.1. Nico Hülkenberg. Ulkenberg. What is Ulkenberg doing? Actually got off pretty close to the side wall there, and I think he actually clipped the wall. Yeah, with his rear tire. He actually clipped the wall, and he cost him the time. Of course, there is no room for error in this track, boys. There is no room for error in this track. Absolutely no room for error. Charles Leclerc pulls off the fastest sector against Sainz, who is on provisional pole. There is no provisional pole in the Q1. He's on first here. But Leclerc, of course, he is the master of this circuit. So he will obviously produce something very interesting that we can see in this race. Leclerc with the fastest first sector. On the second sector, he's coming in hot. Actually handling the car pretty well. He's taking the corners really fast. So narrow to the wall. Dekho tum, you can see he is so narrow to the wall. Absolutely killer lap from Leclerc. Already 7/10 up from Lawson. And he is going with full speed. He is pushing his Ferrari, he is pushing his tractor down the main straight. Opens his DRS, and he will actually pull off a 141s. We are already in the 141s in terms of timing here. We're already going 141s in the timing here. Absolutely killer lap, absolutely killer first lap from Charles Leclerc. Lando Norris just goes second. He's still in the 142s. He actually will need to improve on his lap. Max Verstappen here gets the fastest second sector. Of course, it is Max Verstappen. Whatever car you give to him, he will actually go off, and it is a yellow flag. Who has gone out? Who has gone out? It is at the turn 1 itself. So I think Max Verstappen will need to slow down by the turn 1. Piastri is on the flying lap, and it is a red flag in the session. Red flag already. What has happened here, guys? What has happened here? Is it Alex Albon? Alex Albon has broken down, and I think it is it for Alex Albon. What happened, boys? What happened, chat? What happened to Alex Albon there? He was going in, he was coming on the main straight. He actually clipped the wall. That is just pure poor judgment. That is a poor judgment from Alex Albon. Very poor. You can't make these mistakes, these tiny mistakes. There is no room for error in the qualifying session. You can't actually go off and do this thing. He was unfocused there. He had to be focused. There is no margin for error. You go this much wide and you actually will lose out on the qualifying session. That is a huge mistake, and there was a huge chance for Alex Albon to actually produce something magical today. But apparently, he will not be able to do that now as he is out of the qualifying session. It hurts to see this, but well, mistakes cost you, and that's what you need to learn in these sorts of tracks, like Monaco, like Baku, where there is so less margin for error. You actually need to go on and actually be very precise. He wasn't just that. Alex Albon with a huge mistake, and it is a red flag. I don't think that should be a very big break going into the qualifying session. But yeah, it is a break indeed. It is a break indeed. Yeah, chat बताओ यार क्या what's your thoughts on the crash from Alex Albon? What are your thoughts on the crash? It was a big error. It was a big error coming from Alex Albon. Alex Albon. Pronunciation की माँ चोद रहा हूँ ना मैं. कुछ भी चल रहा है. Anyway, not a good day for a Williams fan, but it is a green flag and we are back. We're back on the qualifying session with by very short break, bro. Very short break here. This is very interesting. Max, I love you. What was that on the board? I think there will be a lot of Max fans watching the stream right now, but yeah. Anyway, we need to refresh this, I think, because there was a red flag and now we are back on live. Yep. It is still yellow flag. I mean, there will be some debris on the track so far. It is not a green flag as such. It was an error from the guys on the broadcasting channel, if you will. But that was not a good corner taken from Alex Albon. It is actually pretty shit, to be honest. If he were to be anything to put his Williams in the top 10, go into the Q3, and Baku is one of those tracks जहाँ पे भाई there is no room for error. There is no fucking room for error. You actually need to be very precise. You need to take your corners very minutely. Monaco, even Baku, Singapore. These are the kind of street circuits you actually need to keep in mind that there are very narrow corners. And even if it was on a narrow corner, I would have understood. But he had messed up. Alex Albon messed up in the turn one, which is one of the widest turns in the whole circuit. That is just bad, bro. That is just bad. He had to take a little bit more room into the corner. He actually wanted a lot of pace going into the corner. He misjudged the distance between his tire and the side wall, and he actually bursts open his left front. You need to be very precise on this. You actually need to be very precise when you're taking these corners here. So you actually need to be very smart about it. You can't go on and just crash your car like that. Even if like Charles Leclerc did in a few years back in 2019 qualifying, he actually messed up in the narrowest section in Formula 1, in the castle section. It is understandable that you sometimes lose control and there is no room for error there. But crashing into one of the widest corners on this track is not something you should be doing in a qualifying session, to say the least. You actually need to be very precise on the thing. Absolutely. Let's look at what's happened so far. I saw Charles Leclerc pull off one of the nicest laps he's done in the qualifying session. It was his first lap on this circuit in the qualifying session, and he put his car on top. And Baku historically is kind of favorite for Charles Leclerc. For the past 4 years, he has produced some amazing results in qualifying. I think he has 4 out of 4 poles in the past 4 seasons. It is Ferrari, so they mess up the strategy in the pits and all of that shit happens. But Charles Leclerc in qualifying in Baku is, yeah, he is one of the best there is. He is one of the best there is. Absolutely, boys. Absolutely. 100%. What do you guys think? What are your predictions, boys? Can Charles Leclerc win a pole today? Can Charles Leclerc go off and win the pole? Or get pole, should I say? What are these guys doing, man? What are these guys doing? They are green flagging, they are yellow flagging, they are green flagging, they are yellow flagging. What's happening here, boys? What is happening here? They're doing nothing but doing that, bro. Absolutely crazy. This is the second time they have green flagged their the session, and they have actually gone around and said no, it is a yellow flag again. Again, they green flagged it. Let's see if now cars actually go out into the track. Let's see. Let's see, boys. Let's see. Let's see what happens. Absolutely crazy, boys. Absolutely crazy. Session is starting again. We will be on the money again. What happened to the track layouts I laid out in my design here? I need to adjust everything again. Huh. Anyway, it's absolutely fine, bro. Absolutely fine. These are the current standings, dude. Obviously, both McLarens up top with constructors points at 617, dude. 617. The second best is Ferrari at 280. Whatever the hell that means, bro. How dominant can a team be here? There was a so-called Red Bull era, but I don't think they were even this competitive. They were actually being carried out by Max Verstappen there. But the gap is like immense, bro. The gap is immense. I don't know what to say about this. This is absolutely horrendous. Absolutely. Third is Mercedes. Fourth is Red Bull. Fifth is Williams. Williams are actually pulling off some pretty nice results going into the season. Max Verstappen on the third. Max Verstappen being third is absolutely crazy because Red Bull has 239 points, out of which Max Verstappen has scored 230 points. It is a carry job, bro. It is a carry job from Max Verstappen this season so far. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy, bro. Needs to be done. Like, are the teams still not out? Is that it? Ah, no, they are actually out. Finally they are out, bro. Finally they are out. Crazy shit, bro. Crazy shit. Something happened to my stream again, boys. Something happened to my stream again. Let's see what exactly is happening in this thing. I can't see any of it, bro. My stream has just frozen here. Yeah, it's back on, boys. It's back on. I am at 10:08 in the stream. Kimi Antonelli is finally getting a chance to set a time. Piastri is also a driver without setting up a time. Alex Albon's game is over so far. So that's pretty much that. Kimi Antonelli taking the narrowest corner in F1, going wide, taking his car in absolute control, absolutely confident on the lap, taking the fast corners, and Piastri is right behind him to take the slowest corner. And I think it is the out lap for everyone. Actually, no one is setting a lap right now. And qualifying for Piastri hasn't been a problem. He has been on the top three in the last 5 races. Absolutely no problem at all, because but it all comes down to when Lando Norris will make a mistake and Piastri wins the race. Absolutely that, because no matter when where Piastri qualifies, Lando Norris is always there to fuck some things up for himself. So it's wild, bro. It's wild to look at it that way. How many mistakes can a driver make in like his best chance maybe in his career to win the Formula World Championship? Absolutely crazy, guys. Absolutely crazy. Kimi Antonelli has started his flying lap, but FIA is investigating the yellow flag infringement from Kimi Antonelli. So maybe he can face a penalty or a grid drop to say the least. Kimi Antonelli is actually pulling off a decent lap here, guys. He's actually pulling off a very, very decent lap. He has got into some traffic. He's in the famous castle section. He manages to control his car. He was not very confident going into that corner. He is actually stumbling away. I think he has lost some time in this sector because of his misjudgment. He hasn't crashed anywhere, so that's a plus, but he's actually been fumbling quite a lot on the second sector. But he still improves. He actually goes above Alex Albon and he goes wide off the track. And I think this lap time will be deleted for Kimi Antonelli because he's gone really, really wide off the track. Can this be? Can this lap time be deleted for Kimi Antonelli? Yeah, only time will tell. Kimi Antonelli, for the moment being, has gone 10th on the grid. Sunoda goes third on the mediums, that too. That is a mega lap. If Sunoda can improve, if Sunoda can actually improve it will be absolutely killer, boys. It will absolutely be killer. And Hamilton takes the first place in the Q1. And another yellow flag. Now who's there and is he, bro? Where is he? Again, a red flag. Possibility of a red flag again. It is a red flag, boys. It is a red flag again. And this is what I'm saying about the race as well, boys. This is a thing I'm talking about the race as well. Nico Hülkenberg has gone wide, but was the red flag caused for him? Yeah, he has crashed into the runoff area. At which turn is it? He's broken his front wing, boys. And this is what I'm saying, boys. This is what I'm saying about the track in and itself. There is no room for error anywhere on the track. He just locked up and he just slammed into the side wall straight away. And this will be a case in the main race itself, the feature race itself, because चीजें होंगी यार, crashes will happen, there will be a lot of yellow flags, red flags coming into the race. So although there technically is a chance you can pull off a race in one stop, but when there are instances of red flags and yellow flags, safety cars, there will be a lot of strategies to be discussed here. Someone will take on the soft, someone will take on the medium, someone will take on the harsh to actually go all the way into the race. Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. What are your thoughts currently? Tell me, guys. What are your thoughts at the moment for the race so far, the qualifying session so far? What do you guys think? What is happening here? Is anything going to improve here? Or are we just seeing another? Yeah, Antonelli's track time, lap time was deleted on the last lap because, of course, he went out wide onto the track. He's actually explaining himself that I wasn't able to brake in time, or there was no possibility for me to go into the zone and actually, you know, take out whatever. You get the point. You get the point. Time deleted, and Kimi Antonelli can face a potential Q1 exit if he actually doesn't manage to get a good time in the 6 minutes and something above that remains. That will be very tricky. That will be very tricky, guys, because Kimi Antonelli has had two chances to actually pull off a good lap, but he's actually not able to do so. He's actually not have been able to do so. So it will be tricky. Now he's just got one out lap, one in lap, and one flying lap in his belt right now. If he can't do it in that time, it can be over. The qualifying session can be over for Kimi Antonelli. Currently, Kimi Antonelli stands at no points or no lap times actually being, placed. So yeah, that's the case. That's the case. People are having fun. On the other hand, people are having a lot of fun in Baku right now. Chat, please tell me what is going to happen. Are we going to see any more mistakes from any more drivers in the coming sessions? Or is it going to be the same old story? Chat, tell me about the track. And I was talking about this, boys. I was talking about this. That there is no room for error on this track. Alex Albon actually was a disappointment, to be honest. His crash was actually his mistake in and itself. He actually didn't crash into the narrow sections. He actually crashed off into. And Kimi Antonelli is one of the first to get out of the garage track. On the track, it will be resumed in 2 minutes now. The qualifying session will resume in 2 minutes now. Boys, what are you guys thinking? What are you guys thinking, chat? Tell me what are your predictions on this one at this moment being. What do you think? What is happening in the race so far? Is it going to be anything but a clear cut McLaren pole, or is it going to be something else? We are going to have someone else sitting on the pole in this race. My prediction is Charles Leclerc will absolutely produce something magical here, but there is a lot of opportunity here for Ferrari to actually do well because their car is absolutely like suited for this track. Absolutely. Yeah, Ferrari Garage is actually motivating the kid on the Mercedes, Kimi Antonelli, that you have plenty of time. Don't panic. You just need one good lap and you will be good to go because they have the car, they have the pace. You just need to finish the lap without making any sort of errors. Crashing is obviously not in the plan, but errors like going off the track is not actually pretty good for you at this point. So yeah, you just need one clean lap and you are good to go and you will be out of the Q1 and we can think about the Q2 after the Q1 gets over. So that's that. Kimi Antonelli is getting, you know, some encouragement from the Ferrari garage. That's pretty much that, boys. Who is taking pole today? Who is going to get eliminated in the Q1? Is Kimi Antonelli going to go out? We know for sure that Alex Albon will be out of the Q1 because he had a horrible lap and he basically crashed out. So there is no point in like counting him. But who else? Are both horses going to be out into Q2? Is Kimi Antonelli going to get out or will he make another mistake on that Mercedes car on this track. And I don't think Kimi Antonelli has raced on this track before as well. So it will be very interesting to see how these things turn up, how these things go out. So that's that, bro. That's there. That's there. Both the Mercedes are lined up and ready, and Kimi Antonelli has all the eyes on him considering this situation that he's found himself into. It will not be easy. He has to get one clean lap. He needs to be focused at this point because if not, he can be looking for a Q1 exit in this qualifying session. And we are going live, boys. We are going live. Sainz is the first driver to get out on the track, followed by the two racing bulls in Liam Lawson and Isaac Hajar, followed by the kick Sauber of Gabriel Bortoleto. Both the Ferraris are lining up to take the exit as well on the out lap. But all eyes will be on Kimi Antonelli. Absolutely all eyes will be on Kimi Antonelli. For sure. For sure. It will be all Kimi Antonelli. Because if he messes up in this lap, he might have to face a Q1 exit. And we will follow Kimi Antonelli, and I think broadcasters will follow Kimi Antonelli as well on this lap because qualifying 20 on that Mercedes is going to be a very, very disappointing result for Mercedes going into the race. So they will need to actually produce something out of this final lap. But having said that, I think Carlos Sainz has started his lap going forward into the turn 2 right now. And Kimi Antonelli is actually going forward. And we are off with Ollie Behrman here. Ollie Behrman is just safe with just 1.3 seconds off the top. But he can face qualifying Q1 exit if he doesn't improve his lap right now. Boys, Kimi Antonelli will be coming in now. Kimi Antonelli will be coming in any moment and he will start his lap any moment here. Kimi Antonelli has started his flying lap here. You can see it on the data sectors. He is actually last right now. You can see the lap he's producing based on the corners, based on the mini sectors that are actually going around. And on my screen, I'm seeing Kimi Antonelli start his flying lap. Kimi Antonelli determined to not get out of the Q1 itself. Going clean, going fast in the first sector as of now. Kimi Antonelli, can he improve on Ocon, who is actually on the 15th place right now? He will need to go above him. Kimi Antonelli actually goes half a second faster than Ocon on the 15th place right now, but he hasn't improved on his timings, his personal best so far. Charles Leclerc getting behind with the fastest sectors possible. Kimi Antonelli coming into the final part of the track. I think he scrapes some of the wall going forward. Was it Kimi Antonelli or was it someone else? I think I saw some debris flying around and someone actually scraping one of the walls there. Was it Kimi Antonelli, chat? Please tell me, was it Kimi Antonelli uh, on the scraping that happened on the wall? Kimi Antonelli coming on to the final straight, and he actually goes sixth. Brilliant lap from Kimi Antonelli, and he actually will be pretty safe going into the Q2. Max Verstappen with faster sector 1, pushing, still pushing. And it will be Norris to take the first position. Verstappen going ahead, and just 9 milliseconds off Lando Norris on that first Q1, and I think that should be it. We are still into fight where Ollie Behrman, Esteban Ocon, Isaac Hajar all want to improve on their times to actually go out and be safe. Go out of that relegation zone, should I say, elimination zone, should I say. Behrman goes 11th. And it is Ocon coming in, and he actually doesn't improve. He stays at 14th. Isaac Hajar pushing his racing bull with the most he's got. Nico Hülkenberg goes 13th. Lance Stroll pulling off a very good lap, his personal best, and also going pretty fast. And Isaac Hajar goes 15th, boys. I mean, sorry, he goes 5th, not 15th. He jumps 15 places, and that is another yellow flag. In which section of the track? That is the question. That is the question, boys. That is the question. It is around turn 3. Someone has crashed on turn 3. And having said that, Q1 is all over, and red flag it is, and session is stopped. So the drivers to be disqualified out of Q1 are Colapinto, Hülkenberg, Esteban Ocon, Pierre Gasly because he run out on that runoff area, or is it Colapinto? Whoever it is, and Alex Albon who actually crashed out in the first place. Pierre Gasly actually, he didn't crash out, he actually run off in the runoff area. So yep, he just locked up and he couldn't actually turn in time. Boys, we have got our first eliminations here. We've got ourselves first eliminations on this track. And Colapinto has also crashed out, and he just got into himself into some debris, and I think many people are getting into trouble on the turn 3 because they're coming off on the DRS full speed corners, high speed corners, and they need to actually slow down, and Colapinto has been eliminated and his car is also destroyed here. Flavio wouldn't be happy seeing both of his drivers actually take a shit on the lap. They had to be on their best in the lap. Absolutely killer first qualifying session here. And the 5 drivers to be out are Colapinto, Hülkenberg, Gasly, and Albon. Albon following his crash, he was out in turn 1 itself, and that is a bad place to mess up in qualifying. Both the Alpines are out in the Q1. Hülkenberg is out, and so is Esteban Ocon. And it is a red flag again, and I think it will be some time since for the cars to be cleared off from the track, because Colapinto has had a bad, that was a bad crash. That's all. It is not the easiest track to deal with, but absolutely killer. See, if you compare times on the best laps of these teams, of these, you know, guys here, whatever, everyone was actually off and running. But mistakes coming by, mistakes are a lot to encounter in this track. तो यही बात कर रहे थे boys, we were talking about this thing, हम यही बात कर रहे थे, it is not a place you can make silly mistakes, there is no room for error, you actually need to be 100% sure on making a turn, on making a decision. There are split second decisions you need to make, and you can't mess up there. You can't mess up on this thing. No, you can't. You definitely can't. And that's the pretty basic thing. You actually have to be very precise on this track. And Alex Albon, dude, मेरे हिसाब से dude, Alex Albon had the worst crash of all. It was the worst mistake of his thing. I don't know, but yeah, it has cost him. It has cost him for sure. Because Alex Albon crashing into turn one, where you have so much space, you have a lot of room for error in the first couple of corners on the track. It is not like you are going to the castle section of the track and you are actually crashing out there. Crashing out on the first corner itself is a little disappointment, and I'm sure Williams and Alex Albon himself wouldn't be happy with the decision and with the crash that happened there. But yeah, it has happened, and it's going to be a bad race for Alex Albon altogether, because starting off 20 in Baku isn't necessarily a good thing, because there is no long straights coming in, no overtaking zones in the first couple of corners, and by the time you reach the third corner, I think you will be way far off from the top 10 where you get actually the points to do that. So that's that. And talking about the crash of Hulkenberg actually braked off in a good time. He actually did a good job in actually saving his car. But Colapinto again into turn 3, crashing out with a bad corner. He was actually doing his personal best on that sector, but he actually messed up there and he actually crashed out with his car there. So he needs to be more clinical with the decision making. We saw a couple of times where Antonelli actually messed up on his laps, because you don't have any room for error. Once Kimi Antonelli actually got off the track, he went out of the track and his lap time was deleted. But you need to be better on this track. There is no room for error at all. Some might say that it is high speed, yes. It has more overtaking, yes. But someone might say that it is actually harder than Monaco here, because we see similar kind of things happening in Monaco as well, जहाँ पे the margins of error are very small. You actually need to go very close to the barriers. You actually not need to go very close to the walls there. So it is kind of similar, but with double the speed. That's the thing here. Ollie Behrman just qualifies out of Q1. He actually, I don't know how he was saved, but he actually makes it to Q2. Track timings, bro, that is absolutely killer here. So yeah, that's all that happened during the first session in qualifying. And see, he locked up. He It was a clean crash, थोड़ा satisfying crash लगा मेरे को. Replay, on the replay, it was a little satisfying. It was a little satisfying crash. Don't know what to say, but yeah, it was like that. It was like that for sure, bro, for sure. But yes, boys, what is your predictions? क्या हो रहा है यार? What is happening in the race so far? What do you think, bhai? Who's taking the pole today? Who's taking the pole today? What do you guys think? Is it going to be Charles Leclerc or is it going to be one of the two McLarens that are racing today? Or is it going to be someone else like Max Verstappen or Lewis Hamilton? What are your expectations out of this? What are your expectations out of the race today? Batao yaar, boys. Tell me. Tell me, boys. Tell me. Tell me why. Tell me, boys. Seriously. Come on, guys. Whoever is joining in the chat, who is going to take the poll? बताना तो पड़ेगा ना तुम्हें, boys. You need to tell me who is going to take the poll here. Because there are a lot of crashes happening, and I think one of the cars will also crash in the second session too. So there is a clear possibility of maybe and probably crashing again, and another chances getting messed up in Q2 and Q3 as well. Guys, did you guys any get any notification of when the qualifying 2 is going to start? Q2 session, when will the game start? Liam Lawson had the top speed going into this. So that's pretty interesting, to be honest. That is pretty interesting. What do you guys think? No one is actually contributing in. Sure thing, boys. Boys, what do you guys think? Please tell me what is going to be the result of this qualifying. Boys, this track is absolutely crazy, don't you guys think? Yeah, this track is absolutely crazy because भाई corners बहुत सारे हैं. We have a lot of corners, and एक चीज for the race I want to talk again, because this race is going to be very high speed, and it is one of the fastest circuits in the whole calendar. So it will be interesting to say the least. And because it is high speed, you would expect that tire wear and all the things actually happen pretty fast. You will have a lot of tire wear. But on the contrary to the high speed circuits, Azerbaijan Baku street circuit has the lowest amount of tire wear in the entire calendar. Technically speaking, you can pull off the whole race, whole Grand Prix with just one stop in the race. A medium and a hard is the way to go. But having said that, because there are a lot of crashes, there are a lot of safety cars, there are a lot of red flags happening in the race. So what happens in the race is that people go into uh, immediate stops because they would want to gain advantage if they can with the soft tires, and they can experiment with those. Technically speaking, one stopper is possible, but it rarely happens that there is no safety cars or crashes and people don't actually stop in the pits with that. So pit stops are immense. Sometimes two, sometimes three, everything that goes around in the race. But technically, an ideal scenario is a one stopper race in Azerbaijan, and someone might want to use that to their advantage as well. Not taking the stop, just following the one stopper procedure and actually going all the way and taking the win. So strategy would be very important going into Baku. Ideal strategy is one stopper, but if you are far behind or way well ahead, you would want to cash in on that opportunity and get in the soft tires or another pit stop in for fresher tires for better grip. So things are pretty dependent on strategy as well. Will you start on the mediums? Will you start on the hards? Or what exactly will happen during this time? That will be an important aspect to actually go ahead and see. What do you guys think, boys? You're not telling me clearly. What do you guys think will be happening in the race going forward, in the qualifying going forward? Valtteri Bottas is the third driver for Mercedes. ये तो तुम्हें पता ही होगा. You would be knowing that Valtteri Bottas is the second driver of Mercedes, but third driver, sorry, reserve driver. He is not the first driver or a second driver. He's the third driver. He's the reserve driver. But next year he will be joining Cadillac. But it's weekend. There was a doubt on George Russell that will he be able to actually get into the car and actually perform something and actually would be able to drive the car because he was actually out sick with a sore throat and a mild fever as well. So his contribution, his, and there is a yellow card. It is a yellow flag. A 1 minute into the qualifying session, again at turn 3 and 4. It is a very tricky turn because there is a chicane going around there. So sort of it's a chicane. It was not a immediate chicane. There are two quick corners coming in like quick succession. But hopefully, yeah, hopefully, not how hopefully, but actually, uh, thankful that there was no damage and there is not another stoppage coming into this qualifying session. It was Isaac Hajar who actually went off the track and he actually saved the car to be crashed out. So, yeah, good for him, bro. Good for him. Absolutely good for him. We're starting off again. Sainz, Bemin, Norris, Verstappen, and all of them are out except the Mercedes cars. Both the Mercedes are in the pits right now. They don't want to go out in traffic. They will be out after they actually go off and clear the track. They want a clear track for themselves. So that is the strategy that I'm sensing here from Mercedes. And Leclerc, Alonso, Lawson have started their flying lap. Leclerc is on, and what happened here with Ollie Behrman? Is he not able to drive the car, or is he just going slow on the track right now? He has stopped on the track. Does he have any problems with the car? His engine shut off or something like that? And there is a red flag. Ollie Behrman says his car is not okay, and I think it's broken. I'm quoting Ollie Behrman, I'm not making this up. So I think it's over for Haas as well. The qualifying session for Haas is done and dusted. Again, another red flag. A lot of red flags in this session, boys. A lot of red flags in this session. क्या लग रहा है, boys? Will we ever be going into the final Q3 in this session here? Because चीज़ तो है ना भाई, tricky times here. Did he actually clip his car somewhere else? Doesn't look that way. I would need to look at it from a different angle. He actually clipped the wall with his rear right tire. So stupid. I am stupid. I am stupid. Anyway, boys, anyway, another crash coming in for Ollie Behrman, and another car is out actually. Another car is out of the qualifying session. We already saw two crashes, two red flags in Colapinto and Alex Albon, and this is the third one in the form of Ollie Behrman. Things are not going as planned for Haas as well. But dude, यही मैं कह रहा था. I was saying this since the start that you actually need to be very very precise while driving on this track because you have little to no room for error. Yes, it is a fast circuit. It is a very very fast circuit where you are on full throttle during 72% of the track. There are only certain sections where you actually need to brake. Other than that, there is a full throttle there. But drivers often go into these silly errors, going into the red flags, pushing the sessions into the red flags and yellow flags, crashing their cars out. So they don't know how to be precise. That's the case here. That's the case. Lewis Hamilton has his car's tires being changed. Lewis Hamilton change कर रहे हैं tires को. He's actually changing up tires in that sense. Sunoda is in the pits as well. It is still a yellow flag in the track on the session. Still 12 minutes to go in this session. There is no lap time set by anyone so far. But we still have a little more than 11 minutes to go into this session, and we will of course get to the end of it sooner or later. I think the session is still stopped. I think we will need to talk about people going around here. But यही कह रहा था ना मैं. I was talking about this since the start because qualifying sessions are essentially the place where you least expect the errors, and errors coming into such a crucial time. Kimi Antonelli was saved in the first session because he just saved his car and he put on a decent lap, but he actually got one investigation for infringement of yellow flag, and he got actually one lap time deleted because he went out of the track. So you actually need to be very very focused on this track, otherwise you will be eaten alive, you will be disqualified here. It won't be possible for you to actually go into anything. And in 2 minutes we're getting another, and we're getting the resume of the session in just about 2 minutes. Is anyone in the chat? Is the chat alive? Boys, is the chat alive? Boys, let me know, boys. Let me know. क्या चल रहा है, boys? क्या चल रहा है? What is happening? What is happening? This session will be resuming any time now. Q2 will resume at 16:58 local time. एंड भाई तुम्हें एक और चीज बताता हूँ अबाउट द सेटअप ऑफ द कार. We talk a lot about how fast this circuit is, how fast the cars are, and how you know balance of the car is so important here. But the balance is not important. The stability is. There is a difference apparently. So in this track, the cars and the teams actually go for the low downforce setup because there are long straights to tackle. There are very long straights to tackle, and actually you go in corners, very high speed as well. There are a couple of very slow corners, yes, but for the most of the part of the track, you actually are on the full throttle. The car setup is made something like, you know, the car setup is a low downforce setup. That is what I was saying. So low downforce setup is basically your car is actually very low to the ground, just about this much, and you actually have no room for error. But एक trade off आ जाता है यहाँ पे. There is a trade off between having a low downforce setup like this and stability and balance of the car. So your car will fly. It will fly like crazy on the streets if you have such setup, but you will need to be very careful in terms of the balance of the car in the corners too, especially the slow ones. Fast ones as well, because आज हमने देखा है people with the low downforce setups, the cars with the low downforce setups have gone out in the turn 3 and turn 4. That were not their mistakes. Apart from it, Alex Albon's crash was completely his mistakes. It was all on him. There's no way you can make that error coming into the qualifying. There is another investigation happening on Charles Leclerc for the yellow flag infringement. But low downforce setup there, but you still need a balance. So most of the cars actually do this, actually bring back the balance by actually not having this low downforce setup. Low downforce setup is basically your car is basically very close to the ground, and your wings, जो rear wings है तुम्हारे, they're actually like this in certain conditions straight up. What they do is actually flip the wings a little bit. So actually everywhere, even when you don't have DRS, you actually go off and bring in some pace into the car, because if your rear wings are like that, the air pressure comes here and it actually blocks off the uh, car's airflow and natural flow as such. But doing this actually helps the car a lot. So, and another yellow flag, it was Charles Leclerc or was it Lewis Hamilton going off on the track, but it is clear. It is clear again. So we are back. We are back, boys. We are back live, and that is happening in the case. It was Charles Leclerc indeed, and it was on a flying lap on the corner 1 itself. Corner 1 is a tricky one. I'm not saying corner 1 is an easy one, but this is the same thing that Alex Albon needed to do. Once he realized that he's going to crash, he needed to turn. There is a runoff area on turn 1 for a reason. Alex Albon can't go off and make these mistakes. He's actually an experienced driver. He's actually a good driver, and you can't actually do these mistakes while being competitive. That's the only thing you need to be focused about. That's the thing. Isaac Hajar on the flying lap with the purple sector. It won't last long though, but yeah, it won't last long. Carlos Sainz on the flying lap as well. Carlos Sainz in the Williams. Dude, am I the only one, or I'm seeing a lot of medium tires being used in this session? Carlos Sainz is on the mediums. Charles Leclerc is on the mediums. It is Max Verstappen who is on the mediums, and so is George Russell. And the bottom four of Alonso, Antonelli, Sonoda, and Behrman, all of them are on mediums. So they do want to save a soft tire for the race. That is what I feel. They don't want to go into the race with just a medium and a hard, because actually it will matter a lot when you're actually in the race. Because let's say there is a crash in the final moments of the qualifying, or not the qualifying but the race, and you have some time, you have some gap on your opponent behind you. You can actually stop and use a soft tire. I think people are trying to save a set of softs for the main race, because there are a lot of safety cars, red flags, yellow flags happening throughout the race. So they will actually need to sit down and actually know that, yeah, this is what we're doing and this is how we're doing it. So I think most of the cases here who are on the mediums are actually trying to save up a soft tire for the main race. And if you guys don't know about Formula One, if you're new to Formula One, you get 13 sets of tires in a Grand Prix weekend. You have to manage your tires well, that your 13 sets of tires are actually utilized well. So 13 tires are not 13 each, but 13 sets of total tires. I think it is about 5 sets of softs, 6 sets of mediums, and 4 sets of hards. It is something like that. It varies depending on where you are actually racing in this calendar. It actually can change, but you actually get 13 sets of tires. That includes qualifying, that includes the main race, that includes the practice sessions as well. Lewis Hamilton didn't improve on his lap here. Max Verstappen on a flying lap gets it very close on the castle section, but very fast, very precise, very confident Max Verstappen on that lap. He is flying at the moment. I know he can't take the first position on this lap, but he is absolutely precise. He is absolutely showing his class and his composure, his precision on this track. He is in the relegation zone, he's in the elimination zone right now, but he will actually pull off because he's on a flying lap, and a very good one, might I add. And I think it is likely now that Yuki Tsunoda might actually pull off a Q3 qualification. Leclerc's lap is deleted. He only has one lap now. He is in the elimination zone here. Oscar Piastri made an error. That is what I'm talking about. If you see the car setup, it is set up for low downforce, and it actually sometimes works against you. And you actually crash out into more of, a corner. That's the only thing here. Lewis Hamilton just made sure that he is in, but he is right on the brink of the elimination zone. He is 10th at the moment. Norris takes the first place in the Q2. Second is Verstappen. Third and fourth are Mercedes in Russell and Antonelli respectively. Piastri is fifth, even with the crash, and it is Carlos Sainz who is sixth. Right now in the elimination zone are Lance Stroll, Bortoleto, uh, Alonso, and Charles Leclerc and Ollie Behrman. Ollie Behrman is of course out with his crash. Charles Leclerc is on 14 because his lap time was actually deleted. So he is on the out lap at the moment. Lewis Hamilton on the flying lap currently. He is moving fast. He is moving strong. Lewis Hamilton doesn't improve on his sector here. He doesn't even pull off a personal best on this thing. Lewis Hamilton not improving at the moment. He is actually not improving on his lap. Lewis Hamilton first sector was very off for him. In the second sector, coming in, he actually improves. It is a personal best for Lewis Hamilton in the second sector. And Lewis Hamilton doesn't improve on his lap. He is still 10th on the grid at the moment, hanging very softly on a thread because Leclerc is coming on with a hot lap right behind him, and that can push Lewis Hamilton out in the elimination zone. Lewis Hamilton hasn't improved, but and that Liam Lawson's lap has put Lewis Hamilton into the elimination zone. Charles Leclerc coming in hot, and he goes fourth on the grid with his medium tires on. Can Hamilton get another lap? But it is a yellow flag now on the track. Someone has crashed in the session right now, somewhere in the session. Charles Leclerc loses his time. Something he actually clips off the wall on that zone on turn 2. But having said that, it is not much of a problem for Charles Leclerc because he's actually comfortable and he actually gets the time that he wanted to get him out of the elimination zone. But that pushes out Lewis Hamilton into the elimination zone, boys. That puts off Lewis Hamilton into the elimination zone. What will happen here? Can Lewis Hamilton get one more lap out of him, or can he not? I think it is all over for Lewis Hamilton. Will he be able to make it? Where is Lewis Hamilton right now on the track? Where is Lewis Hamilton? I think that is it for Lewis Hamilton, or is it not? He has 11 seconds to get to the checkered flag before the session gets over. And Lewis Hamilton starts his lap. Oh, he does not. I think it is all done for Lewis Hamilton here. It is all done for Lewis Hamilton, and Lewis Hamilton is out from Q2. He can't put his Ferrari into the Q3, while Charles Leclerc had an amazing lap with just clipping off a wall but still managing to find time to put his Ferrari on the 6th place. Tsunoda on the flying lap currently. He is actually improving on his time. Verstappen right behind him, taking the fastest sector, fastest lap so far on his trail. Tsunoda coming in hot. Can he beat Fernando Alonso? Yes, he can, and it pushes off Fernando Alonso, and Yuki Tsunoda puts his Red Bull into Q3. Verstappen goes along and he gets the first place in the Q2. Now, the wait here and the big news here is that Hamilton is out from Q2. Hamilton can't put his Ferrari off the charts in the Q2 and he is out. What a disappointment, because his teammate Charles Leclerc is pulling off lap on lap, beautiful laps on the Ferrari, and Lewis Hamilton can't actually contribute there, and that is a problem. Ferrari need to address the problem. They actually need to dig deep of what's happening with Lewis Hamilton, and they need to be very prompt on what goes around. Fernando Alonso, Lewis Hamilton, Gavi Bortoleto, Lance Stroll and Ollie Behrman are all out of Q2. Both the Racing Bulls, both the Red Bulls are in the Q3 with a Ferrari of Charles Leclerc and 2 Mercedes and 2 McLarens. We now wait for the Q3 to start for the all-important pole position. Who will be on the front row? Who will be actually qualifying on pole? Will it be Verstappen? Will it be Lando Norris? Or Charles Leclerc can pull off one of the greatest performances again on his one of the favorite tracks on the grid. Historically, last four times in the Baku or Azerbaijan Grand Prix, he has taken pole. Can this add to another one? Can this be another time where Charles Leclerc actually takes the pole out? There's going to be absolutely bollocks here. This is going to be very, very interesting moving forward. And yeah, क्या लग रहा है boys? क्या लग रहा है बताओ मेरे को boys. What are you guys feeling about the qualifying session so far? And the horrors of Lewis Hamilton in Ferrari continues. Thoughts बताओ यार अपने क्या तुम देख रहे हो यार? Are you guys seeing the qualifying session that has happened so far? It's going to be very, very interesting. Absolutely killer. The next session will be starting in about 4 minutes. Until then, we will wait. We will wait for the drivers to get ready and let's have a chat on, boys. Let's have a chat on. What is your predictions looking into the qualifying session so far? क्या लग रहा है boys? What do you guys think? क्या हो रहा है गेम में अब तक? What are you guys feeling? What does your gut feeling say? Absolutely amazing qualifying session so far. Alex Albon's crash, Colapinto's crash, Ollie Behrman's knockoff and breaking his car down. Lewis Hamilton getting out in Q2 again with Ferrari. It is not working out for him. It is not working out for him. Can we go on and win? Can Ferrari at least put Charles Leclerc's Ferrari on the pole? Can that be happening? Do you see that happening? Because Ferrari's setup, I don't think is a problem here. I think it was the corner, the final 11th corner, I think on the grid that happened to be the trouble for Lewis Hamilton. I don't think it was 11th corner, it was the 16th corner that happened to be the trouble for Lewis Hamilton, where he lost the time. He actually oversteered into the 16th corner and it cost him. It cost him real bad. The qualifying session will resume. The Q3 will start in about 1.5 minutes. Until then, boys, what are your predictions? I'm asking again. If anyone is watching, please let me know in the comments. What did you think till up until this qualifying session? What are your thoughts, boys? What are your thoughts on the game so far, on the race, on the qualifying session so far? Who will be the first to get out? Will it be the Racing Bulls? Will it be the Williams of Carlos Sainz? Who's coming out first? क्या लग रहा है boys? What do you guys think? Because things are getting interesting. Things are getting very interesting, boys. Predictions. बता दो यार, बता दो मेरे को predictions तुम्हारे. What do you guys think is happening in the game so far and moving forward? कौन ले रहा है pole, boys? कौन ले रहा है pole? Pole position. Correct. Pole position. पोल पोजीशन कौन ले रहा है बॉयज? कौन ले रहा है पोल पोजीशन? बता दो यार, बता दो मेरे को बॉयज, व्हाट इज हैपनिंग? कम ऑन, लेट्स डू दिस, बिकॉज इट विल बी वेरी वेरी क्रूशियल फॉर द स्टैंडिंग्स हियर, जो कि तुम अभी स्क्रीन पे देख सकते हो। स्क्रीन में अभी Charles Leclerc will have a good chance to get more points for Ferrari tomorrow, but Lewis Hamilton will need to be on his best to actually pull off some points on this race. Max Verstappen obviously contributing like crazy for Red Bull. It is a single man job here. He is not actually getting any support from anyone. He's just going ahead and he's actually contributing to his teams all the points. But today, Yuki Tsunoda is actually in the Q3. Can he produce something very, very interesting? Can Yuki Tsunoda produce a good qualifying result for Red Bull? What do you guys think? Good qualifying session for Yuki Tsunoda. He is in the Q3. Remember, he is in the Q3. Let's go, boys. Let's go. The game is on, boys. Game is on. People are getting out. Lawson is saying, I'm getting drops of rain out of turn 1. We can actually see a couple of droplets on the screen, on the camera. I don't think it will affect this qualifying session in and itself, unless and until there is actually a chance of rain coming forward. Actually heavy rain that can come after the race. That's all. It is 61% humidity, but what are the weather forecast about? Can there be rain? Can we see a wet qualifying here? Lando Norris coming forward, Oscar Piastri, George Russell, Kimi Antonelli, Kazmat Chimaev, UFC fighter, is in the dressing room, garage of Ferrari. It was Ferrari, right? I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure about their boys. But bata do yaar. Bata do. Predictions. Now it is high time to get your predictions in. There are some droplets. Lawson wasn't lying. There are some droplets that are coming on. That is a little windy. Weather is a little windy. Everyone going on a flying lap. George Russell starting his flying lap. A little bit fumble on the turn 1. Goes off to turn 2. Turn 3 now. Turn 2. Sorry, that was turn 2, I think. Not understanding where Russell is actually on the grid so far. And he goes off. It will be a yellow flag again because Russell has gone out. He has put his Ferrari outside. Russell is on turn 7 there. He was on turn 7. And it is a yellow flag again. And a little bit of rain is coming in, boys. A little bit of rain is coming in. Liam Lawson is having a flying lap. He is having a hot lap. Verstappen is saying it is raining. I don't think it is raining. It might be slippery because the temperatures have gone down. So the grip of the tires can actually affect depending upon the temperature. So the track temperature will be going down because the atmospheric temperature is also going down, and that makes the tires a little bit hard to grip on the surface of the roads. And because this road is actually a street circuit, it makes it that bit harder here. If it were to be, let's say, a track built for racing, things could have been different. But right now, it's not. It is a street circuit, so it is a red flag now. Who actually did crash? Is it Charles Leclerc? It is Charles Leclerc. I am stupid moment part 2, boys. I am stupid moment part 2. Where has he actually crashed off into, boys? Where has he crashed off into? Where has he crashed? Fred Vasseur won't be happy with this. Absolutely not, because he was their only chance to get something out of this, and now there is a 99% chance that he will qualify 10th. Ha, that is another lockup, and he went straight into the wall. And this is what I was saying, boys. This is what I was saying since the start. You cannot mess things up in qualifying in Baku. There is a very low margin for error. You will not have any chance here. You will have no chance to actually go in somewhere and actually get something out of it. The streets are narrow, the roads are narrow, the spaces are less, and you will be punished if you are not careful. And it is an exit for Leclerc as well. Both the Ferraris out, and there is a high chance that Leclerc will qualify 10th and Hamilton will qualify 12th. That is how it is right now. That is how it is right now. Everyone will be coming into the pits again. Kimi Antonelli is also saying that the track is very slippery. The white lines are ice. So definitely, I think people will need to think about something. There is a little bit of rain. We won't deny that. But is it that much rain that you will have to go on intermediates to actually grip the tires more? Probably not. But that is the test the drivers will need to go through, and they will need to overcome. Science is on fire, bro. You should start dancing to see the rain is heavy, no? I think people were denying that there is no rain in the garage, and science just pulls off a banter on them that you should start dancing and see if the rain is too heavy. There is raining. People are wearing their raincoats, the ponchos. Ponchos are coming on. And I think we can see the final moments of the qualifying in rain. Maza aega, boys. It will be very interesting to see, boys. It will be interesting to see, my guys. It will be very interesting. Absolutely, boys. Absolutely. Because rain is always fun, boys. The rain is always fun. Don't you guys think? Don't you guys think that rain is fun? Boys, it is a red flag right now. We might see the final moments of the race being played in rain. क्या लग रहा है? What are you guys thinking? What is happening in the race now at this point in time? मेरे को ऐसा लग रहा है, boys, the rain will come on and it is getting heavier. Carlos Sainz has his eyes on the rain all the time. If the rain continues, we might see a couple of accidents happen again, and there is also a chance that we might see some different pole sitter this time, apart from McLaren or a Red Bull. Is there a possibility that Carlos Sainz can get a pole here? And fun fact, boys, fun fact, Carlos Sainz is the last Ferrari driver to win a race for Ferrari. And Carlos Sainz is in Williams now for more than 6 months, almost a year now. So Carlos Sainz is actually the last person to win a race for Ferrari. And I think it was in Baku, right? I think it was in Baku as well. Interesting choices, interesting stats, interesting decisions. Now it will all be on how much and how less are the teams wanting to take the risk with the rain, with the little rain that is, and will any team try to go on intermediates? Because with such low rain, intermediates will just slow you down. But on the other hand, handling the car is getting trickier and trickier with the slippery roads that are happening with the low temperatures and the water that is coming from sky. New Zealand people are there, Williams Racing, Ferrari fans, everyone is excited, everyone wants to see the racing action begin again. Antonelli is going to get into trouble, isn't he? Okay. I think he actually saw the red flag and he was not willing to go in. And that will count as a red flag infringement. Let's see. The thing is noted here. The thing is noted absolutely. But there are a lot of yellow flag and red flag infringements in investigation for today. One was from Leclerc, one was from Antonelli, and I think there was one other guy with an infringement under investigation. I think the results will of course come after the point in time, but yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it, boys. Huh. Having said that, dude, if we actually get rain and actually get a wet qualifying right now in the last moments of the race, will we be using intermediates or will we be going on to actually contribute with the soft tires with the highest amount of grip that they can have? Because drivers were complaining a lot about the rain, the track being slippery. But if there is no rain, there is no point in getting the intermediates on, right? Because after all, the intermediates are just for grip during watery situations. The intermediates actually spills out water and it doesn't actually contribute to the grip in general. So if the road is slippery, it is more about the tire management and the car management. It is the test of the drivers at this point. If the road is very slippery, there is no rain, it will all come down to the skill of the drivers to take the pole. It will not be about who has the better car, who has the better, you know, engines or anything like that, or the balance. It will be about the driving skill at this point, because the 10 drivers in the top 10 that are coming, all are worthy of getting a pole here. All are worthy of getting a pole here. It will come down to the driver's skill at this point if we are getting a wet qualifying to end the session, or a slippery qualifying, if you will, because complaining has been done by a lot of drivers that the road is very, very slippery, but there is only so much a technical staff can do for you. So it will be very interesting to see. Race control is investigating a couple of infringements, and we will see the results after that. Lando Norris will want to take pole, Oscar Piastri would want to take pole, but I don't think Oscar Piastri is the favorite to take pole in today's game. I think Charles Leclerc was one of the favorites, but he actually messed up, and that has caused the red flag that has happened during the race right now. So that is basically not anything tricky right now. So I think it will all come down to the driving skill. It can be Mercedes, it can be McLaren, or it can be Max Verstappen. I'm not considering Yuki Tsunoda as a competitor or a threat to take the pole, but Carlos Sainz is someone I can see having an outside chance to take the pole because Williams on the straights are actually doing well this season so far. Session will resume at 5:37 local, that is just approximately 3 minutes from now. First one's coming out is Max Verstappen. Or is it Yuki Tsunoda? But everyone will come out, of course. They just have 7 minutes to pull off a lap. That one lap, to take the one lap, you have to do 3 laps. If you are watching Formula One for the first time, if you are going for a qualifying session, you will have 3 laps for the one lap that you have to make for qualifying. One will be the out lap, जो कि you will be taking the lap outside the pit lane when you exit the pit lane. Then one will be the flying lap, which will actually be counted, and the third lap will be the in lap where you just go around the track and come back to the pits. So you just have 7 minutes to do so, and the average lap time here is 1:41 on a flying lap. So 2 minutes plus on the first out lap, 2 minutes plus on the in lap, and 1:40 for the flying lap. So that's how you need to manage this. That's how it will be managed. Otherwise, it won't be very easy. Not at all. We're watching the qualifying session of Formula One 2025 Azerbaijan Grand Prix. If you guys are new to the sport, if you guys are new to the channel, please consider subscribing if you're enjoying the view right now, if you're enjoying the stream at this moment. But we are actually discussing about who can take the pole right now. Who will be able to take the pole right now for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix? Who will actually be contributing that much? Who will have a fantastic session right now? The rest of the session, you just have one lap. There is no way you can pull off 2 laps on this thing. Every driver has just one lap on their charts. They can't actually go on and produce 2 laps out of this. One lap, one final lap, and we will know who will take the pole. Carlos Sainz, Liam Lawson, Isaac Hadjar already have set up their times rather, and Carlos Sainz as of now is standing on provisional pole. But that can soon change, of course, because Max Verstappen, Lando Norris, Oscar Piastri, George Russell haven't put up a time. Charles Leclerc was a threat, but he is out because he actually crashed into the gates. He actually crashed out onto the thing, whatever. Yeah, whatever. But anyway, we're watching the game now. We are off on the track. We are live again. We're watching the Formula One 2025 Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and we are on. We are live, and we are seeing the data coming in from the drivers' channels. Everyone is coming out. Russell coming in next. It is Piastri and it is Antonelli just behind him trying to overtake out of the pit lane. Antonelli is very, very excited to get the lap in because everyone, each and everyone will just get one lap to get this right. No one will be able to get into a third lap or a second chance. It is one lap, the best lap. Whoever will get the best lap here will actually be on pole. There is no room for error. There is no room for improvement. One chance, once and for all, one lap. That is all you get for the qualifying session here. One last lap for each and every driver except Charles Leclerc on the grid at the moment because Charles Leclerc is out via a crash. But we are seeing Max Verstappen go into the final corners down to the main straight, and he will want to get into the groove. He will want to get this lap absolutely pinch perfect. He has opened his DRS gates and he will start his lap, his flying lap right about now. Max Verstappen going ahead, taking the first corner pretty smoothly. Second corner, very close to the wall there, corner wall. Again, a DRS zone coming in. You take it flat out. You take it flat out. Going to the end of the street, you take it into the corner there. Then there is a right-hander just after the left-hander, and this is where the most of the drivers actually crash their cars up. Now there is a chicane coming up on this part of the grid. Turns 5 and 6, and again a straight coming into turn 7. A right sharp right-hander, the slowest corner on the track. There comes the narrowest of angles in the grid, the castle section. Again, you get some room, you take it flat out, you just go into the corner there. You go ahead and take the corner slow. The final corner is about to come. It is the turn 15 that will be coming right about now. It is the turn 16. This is where most of the track limits are being breached. Now it is a fairly smooth and a fairly speedy ride from here on in. Max Verstappen going forward. It is a red flag again. Oscar Piastri has actually crashed into the wall, and I am not sure if everyone has enough time for one lap either. Oscar Piastri has also crashed out on turn 3. And this is what I was talking about. Most of the drivers make an error on the turn 3 and 4. But again, it's a red flag. There will be some time before we get things going. Dude, this qualifying session has just got way more interesting now. It has gone way more interesting now because things are crazy at the moment, dude. Things are crazy. A moment here or there, a moment anywhere. You can't mess this up. You just have right about the time of getting the one lap in. You have 3 minutes 41 seconds on the clock. You will take approximately 2.5 minutes to cross the checkered flag or the starting point in the outlap. An outlap, if you manage to do it in time, you will have one lap again. And that is what I was talking about before as well. If you take a little bit more time, you would want to go out first on the track to actually bring in and take a little bit time of yourself, because if you go out last, you might actually be in trouble because you might take 3 minutes or more going into the flying lap. But there is no room for error. And as of now, as things stand, Carlos Sainz is taking the pole. It is Liam Lawson and Isaac Hadjar. These are the only drivers to put on time by now. Things will get very interesting. Things will get very, very interesting from here. Because it is not going to be easy, my boys. This is not going to be easy. Absolutely crazy, guys. Absolutely crazy. It's going to be a hell of a game right now. There's going to be a hell of a game. There is no rain right now as things stand, but wow, what an end we can have on this qualifying session. There is a red flag, just narrowly the time we have for a flying lap for each and every driver still. Everyone was almost completed with their out lap, and Piastri had a crash into the turn 3, and it actually costed him pretty bad there. It actually cost him pretty bad. Absolutely killer, absolutely fun to watch this race so far, and it will be very interesting. Absolutely, boys. Absolutely. It is going to be so good. क्या लग रहा है बॉयज क्या लग क्या रहा है बता दो मेरे को तुम लोग आज because it will be very interesting to see for sure bro for sure. But having said that चीजें crazy होगी because at the end of the day there is a chance of another red flag here. There is a chance that someone might just lose their shit and actually bring their car into the मैं भाई बकचोदी कर रहा हूँ भाई लाइटिंग के साथ बकचोदी नहीं होती भाई लाइटिंग के साथ बकचोदी नहीं पास किया कोई बात नहीं भाई कोई बात नहीं anyway what I was saying is that anything can happen at this point anything can happen because चीजें हो जाएंगी भाई कातिल लाना because at the end of the day it will be super close बिकॉज चीजें ना भाई क्रेजी हो चुकी है यहाँ पे बिकॉज मैं क्या कह रहा हूं तुम समझो इतनी बात यू जस्ट think about it for a moment. What I'm saying here, if there is another red flag, people might not have a chance to put in another flying lap, and they might just be that we end at this point because we've already had two crashes so far. It is Oscar Piastri and Charles Leclerc. Two crashes in this Q3 itself. It's going to be very crazy, boys. It is going to be very crazy. There might be a situation that we are in, probably Sunoda or Isaac Haja or anyone else might get a crash in, and we might actually see that Carlos Sainz wins the pole in this season of this Azerbaijan Grand Prix and puts his William on pole. That is a chance. There is a higher possibility of this. Chat, it is a very long qualifying session today. A lot of red flags, a lot of yellow flags, and a lot of errors from the best of the best drivers. Be it Charles Leclerc, be it Lewis Hamilton, or be it the inexperienced Colapinto, or be it Alex Albon. It has been pretty crazy here. It has been pretty crazy so far. Oscar Piastri actually crashes out, and it can do wonders. I think Williams will be the happiest of everyone right now because there is room for error now. This can end in a lot of drama here. It can end a lot in drama. This will be very interesting, boys. I'm telling you guys that I can see another red flag coming in, and the session could end then and there because people will not have enough time for another out lap and a flying lap. हो जाएगा भाई, let's do it, dude. Hajar, put your car into the wall. Let's get another red flag and let's put your car on the front row. It will be so good, bro. It will be so good. Can it be a shit housery, bro? Listen to me. Just hear the idea from me. All right. I am wild. I am talking a little bit evil here. I have an evil thinking right now. Hang with me. Hang with me. What I'm saying. Right now we just have three cars who have put in a time. Okay. Now what if either of these three cars in Carlos Sainz, Liam Lawson, Isaac Haja, all three of them go out, take their out lap very consistently. They go and just drive and yeah, we're going. And coming the flying lap of everyone, they just put their car into the turn 3 barriers. Unethical. I agree that it will give you a chance to be on the pole, on the front row, in the top 3. Can this be done, chat? Give me that. Can this be done? Am I talking any nonsense here? Tell me. Tell me, boys. Am I talking any nonsense here? If anyone who missed my evil thoughts here, I would want to remind you again of my evil thoughts. My evil thought here is very unethical. It will not be done. But what I'm thinking is the three drivers right now who have put in a lap are Carlos Sainz, Liam Lawson, and Isaac Haja. Now, what if one of these three drivers actually go on and take the out lap very nicely? Like, yeah, let's go, let's put in the fastest lap, whatever. They go and do their out lap, and coming the flying lap when they have less than, let's say, 2 minutes on the clock, they put their car into the wall at turn 3 or turn 4 where there has to be a red flag. Not deliberately, make it look like you have no control over the car or you actually crashed out. Whatever, I don't care. But just deliberately put your car on the wall, end the session in a red flag because there is no enough time to get your car out there to get another out lap and a flying lap. The session will end then and there. If this evil thinking, can one of those two teams think about this? Can this be done, bro? Can this be done? It's going to be pretty hard, but it will be very interesting. If this happens, I would lose my fucking shit, bro. I would lose my fucking shit if this happens now. I would lose my fucking shit after this. I want to see it happen, boys. Let's make it happen, boys. Let's make it happen. It would be so good, boys. It would be so good. I am the evil genius Doofenshmirtz. You know Doofenshmirtz? Have you seen Phineas and Ferb on TV when you were little, like a kid or something? I am the evil genius here, boys. I am the evil genius. Let's do it, boys. Let's do it. What the hell? What will you get? Let's drop science from there. We can do it for racing bulls. We can do it for racing bulls. One of the drivers, select any one of them. What will happen if they crash their car deliberately? They will have a 10 place grid drop. Even they have 20 place grid drop. I don't care. They have 5 second penalty, 10 second penalty, or they're disqualified out of the race. I don't know. Disqualification is the actually the last thing you will need to do, but yeah, can Racing Bulls or Williams pull off a Sonny Hayes? I know I'm driving a little crazy here. I am the evil genius here, but it does sound sensible, doesn't it? It does sound sensible. If one of the two cars of Racing Bulls or even Carlos Sainz hit the barriers just before the session is about to start, the flying lap is about to start, and they crash out in like third or fourth corner or the turn 3 or turn 4, we can see a Williams and a Racing Bull on the front row. How crazy would that be? How crazy would that be, bro? Just think about it. Don't you want this to happen? I know you want this to happen. In deep in your heart, I know you want this to happen. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. I know you can be a Ferrari fan. I know you can be a McLaren fan. Don't be a Ferrari fan. Pro tip. You can be a Verstappen fan. You can be a Red Bull fan. But would you not prefer to see a Racing Bull or a Williams taking the pole position and making things so interesting, bro? I am so excited about this idea. And if this really, really happens, I'm going to lose my fucking shit, bro. I'm going to lose my fucking shit. We are live back on, but I want to see how this plays out. I want to see how this plays out. Can we see some evil genius? Can we see a plan C from Williams or Liam Lawson or Isaac Hatcher? If you know what plan C is, batao. Let me know if you want to see a plan C here. Let me know if you want to see a plan fucking C here. Let's get this doing, man. Let's get this happening. It would be so good. It would be so fucking good. But I don't think that is allowed, dude. Russell actually overtook Sainz on the pit lane. They were not actually out of the pit lane yet. I think Sainz's complaint is actually pretty fair here. I think it is actually pretty fair, to be very honest. Lando Norris is on the flying lap. I want someone to crash. Someone crash right now. Destroy your car. Let's go, Norris. You were famous for that. Let's destroy the car. Let's go. Break it. Safe. Safe. Break it. Safe. Pretty good corner, to be honest. Pretty good corner there, bro. Take it into the castle section and crash it there, Norris. Let's crash your car. Let's go. Come on. Let's go. Let's go, Norris. Let's go. He's safe again. Can anyone crash the car right now, please? Before Norris takes the pole. Can you please do that? Come on! Oh, he clipped. He clipped. He will lose time for sure. Verstappen is there flying. Verstappen is on a hot lap. A purple sector. Come on. Let's get this thing going. Lando Norris coming ahead. And he will go second. Sainz still have the provisional pole. Verstappen, on the other hand, Russell goes above Norris, so he gets the provisional front row, but still it's not a pole. Verstappen going hard. Sainz goes the fastest. Liam Lawson puts his racing bull on the second. Oh my goodness. Kimi Antonelli is third. Verstappen is on a hot lap. I think Verstappen will pull it off. He is on the target of getting a pole right now. He is on the long straight. He will beat Sainz as of now. He goes and takes the pole, and Max Verstappen takes the pole, and Carlos Sainz with his Williams is finishing on the front row. Get in there, man. Get in there, boys. And Liam Lawson, out of everyone, is on third. In the Racing Bulls, boys. In the fucking Racing Bulls. What the hell just happened? My fucking god, bro. Wow. What a qualifying we had here. I have no regrets, even if like Verstappen has the provisional pole or anything like that. I don't care, man. I don't care. Wow, what a lap. What a mega lap from Verstappen. Absolutely brilliant, boys. Absolutely brilliant. But what is the interesting part is Lando Norris finishes just 7th, Yuki Tsunoda above him in 6th. The two Mercedes are 4th and 5th. But the big news is the Williams of Carlos Sainz will be standing on the front row tomorrow at the Grand Prix, and Liam Lawson has a great fucking chance. He is on third. He can be leading out of the turn 1. What a mega qualifying session, boys. What a mega qualifying sessions, boys. Wow. I certainly didn't expect this out of the qualifying session. I knew it would be interesting. I knew it wouldn't be predictable. But if anything, I didn't expect to be this. Max Verstappen will be starting on pole tomorrow. Max Verstappen will be on the pole. He will be actually doing a lot of things with his car there. But what a lap from Max Verstappen and Williams. Thanks to the red flags and the yellow flags, Williams is on the front row. But what a lap. You will have to say, you will have to give credit to Liam Lawson where it's due, because what a mega lap he's had in the game so far. What a mega lap, boys. What a mega lap we have. We deserve to clap for Liam Lawson. What a mega drive from Liam Lawson to put his Racing Bull up on third, boys. What a end. What an end to the qualifying session. Wow. This is why we watch Formula One. Not for the wins, not for the stories, not for the drama, but for the sheer and brutal qualifying sessions, bro. We just hope that the qualifying session, and not the qualifying session, but we just hope that the sessions in talks, the sessions in the race, the main Grand Prix, is as interesting as the qualifying. Whew. Absolutely stunning, boys. Absolutely stunning. What a session, boys. What a session. And I think with this, I will have to take the leave, because I have to say, what a qualifying session, bro. What a qualifying session. Absolutely pinch perfect, everything that I hoped for and more. Wow. No words, bro. No words. I don't mind that final Verstappen's lap. He takes the pole. No worries. He's a mega driver. I have nothing against him. But what I am excited to see is the Williams of Carlos Sainz in the second, in the front row. And on the second row, in third, is Liam Lawson with his Racing Bull. With him, will be sharing the second row Kimi Antonelli. Then comes George Russell. Then comes Tsunoda. And Lando Norris and McLaren will start in the fourth row and the fifth row, respectively. A disaster for Ferrari, we would say, because 12th was the finish that Hamilton received or achieved, and Leclerc crashed his way out in the third qualifying session, the Q3 session, and it was a pretty bad lap. Otherwise, if not for that crash, I think Leclerc would have sealed the deal with the pole. Verstappen and Norris would be right behind him. But thanks to that crash, I think we've had a brilliant, brilliant grid, a brilliant, unpredictable grid. No one could have predicted this out of what just happened. And with that, I think I will take your leave, boys. I think I will take your leave. Let's look at what happened in the Q3 once again. Let's look at what happened in the Q3 once again. Because of that crash on Leclerc, we had a chance to get a red flag in, and there was a lot of chaos in the pit lane. Everyone wanted to go out there and take a lap in. And in that process, we had another crash coming from Oscar Piastri on his flying lap. And because of that, already only 3 drivers were on the grid who had taken the times on the chart. So there was no second chances given to any of the drivers. You had one chance to get it right, and right he did, was Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen pulled off a mega lap at the end of qualifying, and he actually took the pole. But the most interesting part is not about Max Verstappen, it is about the Williams and the Racing Bull, who are qualified second and third respectively in Carlos Sainz and Liam Lawson, with the 2 Mercedes right following about them, Kimi Antonelli and George Russell. And then, and only then, comes Lando Norris in 7th. What a qualifying session, one of the best of the season by far, 100%, absolutely killer, bro. Absolutely killer. This is the kind of races, this is the kind of qualifying that we expect. This is the kind of qualifying that we actually want to see happening all over again. Let's just hope that the race, the Grand Prix tomorrow, is as interesting as this one. I will see you guys tomorrow during the race at 4:30 p.m. IST. And we will have some fun, dude, because this race you cannot miss. There will be a lot of drama. There will be a lot of drama. That's all I have to say, because what can I say after this qualifying session where Carlos Sainz and Liam Lawson have secured the top 3 places with the Max Verstappen on pole. Mega performance from everyone. A bit of luck, some judgment, but at the end we have a wonderful grid at our hand, without any doubt, bro, without any doubt. Wow. I will take your leave. I will see you guys tomorrow during the Grand Prix itself, and we will have some chat in the Grand Prix. We will have some fun for the same. Okay, tata, bye bye, have a good day. See you in the race itself, boys. See you in the race itself.